2 years have passed since I dug this tree out of the ground and into this now broken plastic training pot. Meanwhile, I have approach grafted the tree with its own foliage about 10 months ago. I chose to graft its own foliage mainly because I love this tree's bark, and I'm not planning on peeling it off or sanding it down. And I'd like to have this kind of bark in the branches and in the foliage as well, eventually. I have featured this tree a year ago in a video about carving the deadwood. The deadwood seems to be progressing nicely and looks completely natural right now. In the end of this video I include a rendering of how this tree might look in 5 or 6 years, so don't miss it, it's interesting. This graft will stay on like this for another year, at least, before separation, while I gradually reduce the foliage on top to let more sunlight onto this graft. I am keeping lots of foliage still, so that the tree can have a good flow in the live veins, and because junipers rely heavily on their foliage, so reduction of the foliage should be quite slow. In the parts of the root ball where there is my soil, I have dense and fine roots, while in the parts where there is still clay left from the field, I see no fine roots, only the thick ones that just passing by. Meanwhile, the clay has hardened a lot and feels like a rock, feels like it has been fired. I'll use the reciprocating saw not only to remove the thick roots that are left from the field growing, but to remove the vast majority of the clay. Now it's a time for this clay to be, for most of this clay to be removed. I have bought this pot with specifically this tree in mind, since I love the lotus shaped pots, especially for junipers. This is the first try to fit the tree in. Essentially, I'm estimating what needs to be removed still. Second try, and it looks like there's still lots to be removed. Well, that was an intense workout that lasted for about an hour and a half, and I had to do 3 breaks for a glass of water and some stretching. But I really like the results. The combination of this tree with the pot is brilliant. I am trying to find the widest part of the Nebari, but still I need to have a front with a lot of interesting view of the deadwood features. I am using 50% zeolite and 50% pumice with this tea. Well, it looks kind ridiculous now with all the top foliage, but I promise you it will look a lot better in a few years. Now comes a rendering of how I want this tree to look in 5 or 6 years. Thank you for your time.